Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'll tell you like how we can create elastic container service. And like this thing I already told you like how we can create, but in this video I will tell you how we can create in our private subnet. And it will be like completely private. We will be using our ECR to get that image. Then we will be using that private subnets in our VPC, and we will not be attaching any public IP to our container which we are hosting, which we will be hosting in this tutorial. So I already logged into my management studio, and I'll go to this elastic container service. But before creating this elastic container service, we will need that endpoints in our VPC, so that it can connect to ECR from our VPC to get that images which needs to be deployed in that private subnet. So for that, again, what we will do is like we will just open our VPC where we need to create this containers. So this is that VPC I have created, project VPC, and then I will go to that endpoints. I will just click on create endpoints, and I'll just name as endpoint ECR API. I'll just search for a service ECR. ECR is that registry where we are keeping our image which we want to deploy in our ECS service. So this is our VPC, then this is our subnet. These two subnets I'm gonna use. Then private subnet I'm gonna use. Then second is also private subnet I'm gonna use. Then that security group, that default security group, I'll use it, and then full access I am giving, and I'll do a create endpoint. So one endpoint has been created. Now I'll create one more endpoint, that is for DKT service. So I'll say endpoint. Again I'll search for ECR. DKR service is there, and then VPC, I'll just select that VPC. The name of our VPC is project VPC. This we have created earlier. I'm using that same one, and I'm using that private subnet. Earlier in our last video we have used that public subnet and that public IP for deploying our ECS service, but here we are using everything private. So now we have created two endpoints. You just need to remember one more thing, like if you want to connect your ECR service, this ECS service to monitoring as well, or you want to deploy that monitoring as well in your ECS, then you need to create endpoint for monitoring as well, and then only it will be able to connect to your monitoring service. Otherwise it will not be able to connect to your monitoring service, because we are deploying that ECR, the ECS containers in private subnet where there is no internet connectivity. So I have created both the endpoints. Now what I'll do is like I'll just go to this ECS service, and what I'll do, I'll just create a cluster. I'll just name it private cluster, and I'll say AWS Fargate only. I'll use monitoring for now. I'm not enabling tag. I am not giving anything, but just make sure for the best practices we need to give tags so that we can filter out our resources based on tags as well. There are multiple use cases where we will be needing tags. So by the time this cluster is getting created, what I'll do is like I'll just create one task definition as well parallelly. So in my task definition, I'll just name as Nginx deployment only. AWS Fargate I'm gonna use. Then one CPU and 3 GB RAM I'm using. Then this role I am selecting. And in container, I'm just giving Nginx only. But instead of this URI, what to contain, I'm gonna use my ECR. So what I'll do is like whatever image I have pushed for into my ECR for this Nginx. That path I'll be giving there in our task definition. So I'm just going to my private registry which I have created, and this is my repository, the test, and in under test I have deployed that nginx. And so what I am giving is I'll just give name as test, and then private registry authentication, like this authentication will internally happen because that endpoint connectivity I have already given. Then that port 80 will be there, then port name nginx 80 I am giving. Then that based on your additional need you can give, like if you want to give environment variable or anything else. For now that logs I am not enabling. If you want to enable the logs and all and mount it to AWS logging the monitoring, then you need to create an endpoint for that as well. Apart from that I am just keeping everything as it is, just I am giving that health check. So in health check, this I already explained you in my last video what does this mean. So I'm just giving that same health check. I'm just logging into this cell, then I'm doing a curl on localhost 80 port. 80 port is the port where our nginx is running. So if it is giving us a response means it will succeed, otherwise it will return that exit code as one. Then that interval 30 seconds I am giving timeout. I am just keeping that default one. Other details I am just keeping default only. I don't want to add any additional volume. Then monitoring I am not using tags, I don't want to create, and I just said create this task. So task definition has been created, and let's see if our cluster is also created. Yeah, so private cluster is also created. Now what I'll do is like I'll just define one service which will allow us to deploy that particular task definition which we have created in our task definition. So what I'll do, just click on create. I'll just use Fargate only. Then deployment type, application type is service. I don't want to deploy task as an independent or standalone task. Then that in the task definition is nginx deployment, and the service name I'm gonna give private nginx service. Replica, let's check this as well. Like last time I gave one replica, so it has created only one. This time I am giving two replicas, so it should create two. Deployment option, that rolling update and blue green deployment, we are having rolling update means it will update one by one. Minimum number of running tasks should be 100, so that's depend on us, like how we wanna create this, like how, like minimum running task how much we want to give it, or maximum how much we want to give it. So based on your need you can select rolling update or blue green. In blue green what we'll do is like it will just have all that, it will create two separate instances. One, it will have that updated code. In second place it will have that old code. So if we are if we'll update it as a blue green means first it will just directly update. So here we are having the deployment configuration, like if we want to update all at once or 10%, 5 minute, or all these settings we are having. So based on our need we can select, but here I am just giving rolling update only, and I am just keeping that default setting. Then networking, I don't want to create any additional network apart from this selecting this project VPC. And then private subnet, as we are trying to deploy this ECS in our private, like where there is no internet connectivity, then I'm just removing this public subnets. I'm not gonna give this public IP to this container, and then apart from that I'll just keep all the details as by default. So let's say now I'll create this task as well. So now this task is getting created. So I hope this ECR you are already aware. You, if you are not aware of this ECR and how we can create private registry and how we can push that images in our private registry, then you can refer my last video where I have explained about Amazon Elastic Container Registry. So we can create both kind of registry, like public registry or private registry. It's totally depend on us, like whether we want to create private or public, but mostly here that suggestion is create private registry and restrict that users to connect to that particular registry. Yeah, so now this deployment is in progress. Let's wait for some time. I'll just open this logs as well in my parallel window so that we can see that logs as well. Yeah, so it says create in progress. Let's wait for some time. That private engineering services deployment is in progress. So once this deployment is completed means we will be able to see our two tasks are running. Yeah, so now you can see that deployment has been completed. You can see deployment and task. It says 2 out of 2 tasks are running. Last deployment it is completed. And if I'll just go to this so you remember like we have given in our setting that service, there we have given like just create two two containers, two replicas. So that is the reason why it says desired is 2 and running is 2. So that is the reason why we got these two containers, because in my last video I have given only one, so it deployed only one. This time I have given two, means that is the reason why it has updated to 2. Then under task, if you will go and if you will see, both the two containers are running, and if you will see, there won't be any public IP because this time we have deployed everything is in private. We are connecting to our ECS service privately through endpoints that we have created in our VPC. And so you can see here like we have created two endpoints to connect our ECR. Then in task also you are not seeing any public IP, and one container nginx is running. You can see container name that nginx is running. Health status, you can see healthy. We have given that http colon slash slash localhost, and by default it will take that 80 port. So there, from there it is getting response. That is the reason why it says healthy. Then if you will see that second task as well, so if you will go to the second task as well, here also you will see that same configuration. Public IP is if not available, private IP is this one. And this is our container name, this is our container runtime ID. Then image is the one which I have given in the definition. This image it is picking up from ECR. So if you will see here, this is that image name. And then you can see that health status, it is healthy. Yeah, so that's all for that deployment and all. So let me give you one more thing, like if you want to update your service and if you want to run only one container now, so here what will happen is I'll just update this to desired task as 1. So now what it will do, it will run only one container because we are just updating it to 1. So now it says 2 are running, desired is 1. So let's wait for some time. So once this is updated, it will automatically update this to 1. So now you can see that task 1 is running, 0 is pending, and 1 is desired. Earlier it was 2. This is that revision number second, because we have just updated our service. So that is why it says revision number 2. And here you can see we have only one task running now. This is the one container, right? So now if you want to update it again, you want to update it this service, let's update it and make it 3 and see if it is getting updated or not. I'm just updating it to 3 and I'll just say update. You can see service updated, private cluster, private nginx service, and let's wait for some time. Let it task, we can see currently only one was running. Now you can see it is started provisioning two others because we have updated that, and it is still updating. So let's wait. So now it says it is last status is running, but health status is still it is checking. That is the reason why here it is unknown. So now if I'll again update, refresh this, it says healthy. Now it is able to hit that 80 port. So that is the reason why you are getting this as healthy. Yeah, so that's all from my side. So that logs and all for now I have. If you want to enable logs, I told you like if Azure monitoring and all. If you want to enable means you will be able to enable this after creating that endpoints in your private cluster. Yeah, so that's all for this video. I hope you like this video. If you have any doubts, you can just comment in that comment box, or else you can directly send me a message. I will try to help you out with your queries. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe my channel.